walking too. Going to town to do some shopping. Most of it's routine, but anyway, needs to be done. What I was thinking about today as I was getting ready to go, I was like, what could I do a video on today? And we've all had our Black Friday sale, and we've eaten our Thanksgiving turkey, and so I thought, well, what's next? Well, we've got Christmas coming up. And that whole thing involves the idea of buying presents, etc. Well, what I want to think about is, like, those of you who have disabled people on your Christmas list, what are some things for you to maybe think about? And so, being disabled myself, and specifically with being legally blind, I started thinking about, what I like and how I think about things that I have. And this is just speaking for myself, but it may be applicable to other people with disabilities, or specifically legally blind people. But the one thing I keep in mind if I'm buying a present for anybody is that, what do they like? That's most important. Not how will it impact their disability, but or can they use it? But what do they like? What are things they already own? What are things they talk about? So it's really knowing the individual. Is very key. As with anybody else. Okay. So the more you know a person, the more likely you're going to have a successful Christmas buying experience for them. If you're buying them something, an upgrade for something they already have, say an MP3 player or some other type of electronic gadget, think about what they already have, how they use it. If they talk about what the dislikes, likes. If you're buying clothing, what does the person wear? Do they have arthritis? As another example, probably don't, in their hands, let's say, they probably don't wear a lot of clothes with buttons. They even have Velcro shoes, because tying is really hard for some individuals. So, like I said, just keep in mind what a person likes, and furthermore, what do they have, and be aware of what they already use. For me, I'm legally blind, also colorblind. So, my wardrobe is quite plain. Jeans, t-shirts, and sweatshirts. That's what I like. I don't wear a lot and if I get really crazy in the wintertime, I like to wear rugby shirts. They're soft, they're comfortable, they're warm. That's what I do. Knowing me, whoever buys presents to me knows that I like to walk a lot. So I need things that are kind of breathable, for like different temperatures, meaning has a wide range of comfortability. It's not something that's going to be hot or cold over in a short temperature range. Lightweight. For instance, today it's like 40 degrees outside, but it's light wind. It's about 12 o'clock. And so, it's light wind, sunny, 40 degrees. I'm wearing a sweatshirt and a leather jacket. Okay, that's what I wear. So it's not very fancy. And so if you keep in mind those things, and you think about what's out there, if you're going for an upgrade of something you already have, getting back to a legally blind person such as myself, for example, assume something they can, if it's a technological device, assume that they want to use it without any help. I take great pains to be independent. Gotten somewhat harder because I try to do more things. Reference my bike riding now that I've begun to do, which I haven't put up that video yet, but I will. I like to wear watches. You know, watches are like, okay, you supposed to buy a watch. Well, for me, I have to have a pretty good sized watch, although it's a standard watch. You know, I don't like the ones with numbers. I like the ones with the marks on them, because the marks are the same, and so when the hand points to the mark, I know exactly what time it is without figuring out where it was going to land on you know, point toward the number, what part of the number. So I prefer those, which some people might think, okay, you need the numbers. No, 47 years old. I know where the lines correspond to the numbers. Don't want a talking watch. Don't want, you know, that comes back, and I know talking watches are not just for, you know, people who can't see, especially nowadays, or who are congenitally blind, let's say. But it comes back to my old stereotyping experiences with people who think talking, everybody stares at them and wonder what's wrong with them. So, but for those of you who need it, I do not care. I understand, but I still don't think everybody does. Especially if you live in a smaller community with less experience with disabled people. That's another video in of itself. But my watches, get back to watches, for me, you know, it needs to be like a white face watch, so it doesn't do the refraction of a shiny face watch. And I had this recent experience where I had a watch for 18 years, and I recently purchased it, became damaged, and I don't think I can get it repaired, which really upsets me. So I went to seek buying a watch. And do you know how hard it is to find a white face watch that you like in other characteristics? You think, okay, you know, every white face would be in every watch, but it's not. It's either black or some type of reflective color like silver, which really is havoc for glare for me. I have really bad trouble for glare. So, you know, that's what people know. People who know me understand that. So that I don't get a lot of watches. Like I said, my own experience trying to find a watch has taken me 2 watches and 1 return to get what I thought was a white face watch. So I'm kind of a hard person to buy for, and I think some disabled people could be others as well, because we know what we want and we need that. And anything that that's interlocked with your disability, and I think vision is really an interlocking disability with presence and other type of materials, because you have to be able to see how to use it. And when you're in between, like I am, and you've been congenitally legally blind, you've tried so hard in your entire life to see, to be in the seeing community, let's say, that's how you process information. You know, I used to get, when I was a kid, I wanted to just get talking books. That was the answer. That's everybody's answer, you know. When I was a kid, hey, they came on like 16.5 RPM records, so they were really obnoxious. But that was the answer. You can't read, use those. But I had trouble focusing on listening because I'd be looking around at stuff. And so that puzzles a lot of people. Now, everything's on talking books. As I use an old term, it's audio books now. It's talking books back when I was a kid. But a lot of things are on audio books. In fact, my understanding, probably everything is. And so, people now listen to books while they're driving. Even while they're walking. I don't ever do that. And listening to books while they're making supper or anything. So, like I said, getting back to the beginning, you know the individual that you're buying for. What do they like? 2, what do they already have, and how do they use it? Is something you're buying going to be related to something that they already have and is using, and it's an upgrade? Number 3, And last is to take into account the particular disability they have. You know, for instance, okay, another example. I'm colorblind, so I love Lego blocks. And when my kids move out, I'm going to take one of the rooms and make it my Lego room. They don't know this yet. But I played with Legos until I was about 12 or 13, and I hated giving them up. Because one of my dreams in life would have been going to work at Legoland. But, and I actually won a contest designing something, a model made of Legos, when I was about 12. So, I'm colorblind, so when I make colors, it's very hard for me to tell black and red, so I don't care to mix those when I make designs because I get them mixed up. I have to have a lot of bright light now to tell this thing black and red. And so knowing that, trying to give me something that's a color-related present is not going to do me any good. Something I'm not going to be able to use. No matter how great it is, I actually may like it, but if I can't use it color specific, it's not going to sit in a shelf or probably get put back on eBay. So those are the three things that I think apply to me, may apply to other people with disabilities, and more specifically, people with who are legally blind, let's say. Give me...
Need a ride?
No thanks.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Alright. So, that happens every now and then. But I never take rides, and that had to be a taxi, but I'm doing a video. So anyway, all these impromptu things happen when you're out walking. So, like I was beginning to say, give me ideas as to what you, any other topics for videos, thoughts about videos I've already done. Please welcome subscribers. You subscribe, I will subscribe to you. I have a lot of interest as you look at my videos, and I'll be adding some more very soon to the ones that I like. Add them into my video categories. So at this point in time, I will let you go and just say, everyone, keep walking. That's what I plan to do myself. Blind Man Walking 2 out.